You're watching TVC News. Pro-Democracy Group, the Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, has urged President Muhammad Buhari to categorize marauding armed herdsmen as terrorists. The group expressed confidence that such categorization would reduce, if not bring to an end, the incessant terror attacks on farming communities by armed Fulani herdsmen. With us in the studio is a security expert, Ahmed Huriwa. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Now, for so long, many people have asked why herdsmen are not being punished. I mean, the president isn't saying so much about the herdsmen, and now people are asking that they should be tagged terrorists. Do you share the same view?
No, I don't share the same view that they should be tagged as terrorists. The Fulani herdsmen have not had any political agenda, so to speak. A terrorist group always has an ideology that tends towards a political agenda, and the Fulani herdsmen, under the auspices of their leadership, have not ever come forward to make any such comments regarding politics. All the Fulani herdsmen basically want to do is to graze their cattle, and in the event they've been coming in conflict with communities, which has led us to where we are now regarding this issue.
Really? Well, if you reach that conclusion, I should think you are aware of the activities of the herdsmen, you know, killing people in their farms, you know, allegedly, of course, in the southeast, in the southwest, and that's why, of course, Fayose had to, take the action that he took. So, if you say so, what about those activities?
Good. Now, I'm not holding forth for Fulani herdsmen. I just want to be as fair as possible to all parties concerned. Fulani herdsmen took up arms when they claimed, their leadership claimed that nothing was being done about cattle rustling activities. Their cattle was being stolen and no effective law enforcement was taking place to counter this problem they were encountering. So they decided to arm themselves with Kalashnikovs to defend their cattle. I'm not saying that's right. We're not in a country where you're allowed to just walk into a shop to buy arms. It's illegal. But they decided to take law into their own hands to protect their cattle. Now, with these arms they have acquired, they felt emboldened to trespass, and this has led to conflict, this has led to death and injuries. And to my mind, the government has been too silent about this issue. The law should come down hard on all erring parties, be it the Fulani herdsmen, be it the communities, the federal government should be seen as doing its job in ensuring that law and order is brought to bear on every erring party. But so far we haven't seen that.
Okay, let's compare this to IPOB,
okay,
now a terrorist organization in Nigeria. And it's clear that they haven't carried any arms. They haven't killed like the herdsmen. And you're saying that they are simply protecting their cattle. And many IPOB members have said we want to get arms because we also want to protect our people from the herdsmen.
There's a bit of a mix-up there. IPOB, herdsmen, I think...
No, we're talking about terrorist organizations.
I know, terrorist. IPOB wants a different country. Fulani herdsmen have not said that they want a different country. So it's a different ballgame here. IPOB are fighting to secure a country for their people.
No, but the government said, well...
Sorry, Ugochi, but on what basis do you think an organization should be declared a terrorist organization?
Well, a terrorist organization has to have, number one, a political agenda. And in order to drive that political agenda, it could now decide to go indulge in the force of arms. We have the IRA. We have so many other political organizations around the world. We have ISIS. We have, in Africa, we have We have Boko Haram, we have the Janjaweed, we have El Shabaab. Now, one thing is common with all these organizations. They have a political agenda. They seek to carve their own niche out of whatever societies they find themselves in. Now, we don't have that with the Fulani herdsmen. The Fulani herdsmen are infringing on the law, so to speak, by trespassing, by bearing arms illegally, and causing a whole lot of conflict in their wake. And we, like I said before, we need to bring law and order into it before it poses a threat to national security.
I'd ask you, how do you think we should tackle the herdsmen? Do you think grazing reserves should be given to them? Do you think they should remain where they come from, and then we ship grass to these states, just like we buy tomatoes and the others, we ship grass to them, we cultivate where we have grass and then ship over just to stop the conflicts? What do you think should be done?
In the past, there have been grazing reserves. There have been grazing routes, so to speak, not reserves. Now, it will be easy to have grazing reserves in the north because it's more of a culture to graze cattle in the north, not just in the northern part of Nigeria, but in Mali, in Niger. These people bear a similar culture of raising cattle. It even extends to the east of Africa. Now, you don't find that here. I'm a southerner. I believe you're a southerner, and so is he. We don't have that culture of raising cattle. So establishing grazing reserves in the south is going to be a tricky business to handle. So it's best to bring the governors of the south together to actually work out an understanding, so to speak. But the grazing reserve, I really don't know how that's going to work. Who's going to offer his land for grazing?
But I'm very sure that you are aware as well that they themselves are in a position to, being restricted to reserves.
They're in a position. You see, the thing is, these cattle are owned by people. Now, you ask the people who own these cattle to station their cattle in reserves that they own and leave them there. That's how it's done in other climes. In the US, in Britain, in Western Europe, people own cattle ranches. And they station those cattle there and take care of them.
But they don't want that.
Well, I think that's the only thing that will work. Or else we'll continue having this problem and it will escalate into other dimensions. So, to my mind, if you own a cattle, own a ranch. Period.
But it seems the president isn't saying much about this issue.
Yes, that's the problem.
So what do we do? Anything. How can we ensure that something happens, something changes?
Well, we just have to urge the president to speak. I mean, keeping quiet doesn't solve the problem. He just has to speak and bring this matter to an end.
All right, Ahmed Kadiri, a security expert, thank you very much indeed for coming to share your thoughts with us.
Thank you for having me.